So, Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. This is Krishna Dasa. So, today we continue the journey on Bhakti Sutra. We will start from Sutra 5 and let us see how many we are able to cover. It's because it's very profound, there's a lot of depth in it. And before we begin, I'll say the prayers to Guru and God. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshuru Militamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna.
Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Are you all ready? Okay. So we will continue, and today we're going to start with Sutra 5. And so this is the quest for fulfillment. This is a universal quest for fulfillment. That's going to be one of the key topics that we are going to cover today. So maybe I will start by asking you to introspect on one simple question. Think about the last time you really wanted something. You wanted something very much. Maybe it was a new job, a new relationship, some kind of achievement, promotion, whatever. Maybe you worked for it, you strived for it. Maybe you even got it. How many of you got what you were wishing for? Everybody. Okay. Then what happened next? You felt excited, you felt happy. Then what happened? Right now, I'm not seeing everybody absolutely happy and blissful. But you decided something, you wanted something, you got it. You felt happy. Then what happened? If you introspect, you will realize what happened was a new desire, a new worry, or a new fear. Isn't it? That's the nature. This is what we studied in the Bhagavad Gita, that by nature, desires cannot be fulfilled. Because the nature of a desire is atripti. Like for example, there is fire, and if you touch fire, will you ever feel cool? You cannot, because that's not the nature of fire. The nature of fire is heat. It just cannot make you feel cold, because its nature is heat. Just like that, the nature of desire is atripti. So if it is atripti is the nature, how can you ever feel tripta? What can make you feel tripta? That's what we studied in the previous sutras. Tripto bhavati. That comes only with bhakti. See, it's all very scientific, very logical. And now I want to give you a slightly, different perspective. Perspective is, hopefully, most of you have felt love in your life sometime. It doesn't matter for whom. Hopefully, you have felt love in your hearts. Now, think about the moment when you really were in love. And at that time, when you are truly in love, were you not all the time just thinking about the person that you are in love with. At that time, were you even getting distracted by any other desire? Let us say you're going to meet that person who you are so much in love with. At that instance, would you be distracted if somebody said, hey, I will give you chocolates, I will give you wine, I will give you flowers? No, at that time, it didn't matter to you because, your mind was full of love. Unfortunately, that kind of material love is not permanent. We wish it is, but it doesn't stay because that's its nature. Anything material, the nature is asat. But what we are trying to arrive at is, if you could be in that kind of love forever, then would you ever be bothered by any distractions? Would you be bothered by anxiety or worry or anything? Is the question. And that's what we are going to explore now. So it's not just a philosophy. As you can see, we all gave it a thought and it seems to relate to all of us. So that is Sutra 5 now. I will recite that and you can try to repeat at your end if possible. Yat prapya na kinchid vanchati na shochati na dveshti na ramate notsahi bhavati. Lot of things, power packed into this sutra. The translation just says, on attaining that, a man does not desire anything else. He grieves no more. Na shochati. He is free from hatred or jealousy. No, na dveshti. He does not take pleasure in the vanities of life and he loses all eagerness to gain anything for himself. It's like you have just discovered a treasure which is so vast. Imagine you just won the lottery and now you have like $100 million. Now if somebody is giving you lalach or somebody is trying to tempt you with 100 rupees, is it even going to matter? That's the whole point here. Once you have that taste of that kind of eternal love, nothing else would matter. See, the Sanskrit terms used here, they reveal a profound secret. Now, we can think of two states. The first is nishkama. Nishkama means desirelessness. And the second state is pūrņakāma, which is complete fulfillment. All your desires are fulfilled. It is completely content. So a pure seeker, a pure devotee is a pūrņakāma because they experience such complete fulfillment. Whereas if you want to succeed on the path of karma, we say we have to practice nishkama karma. So there we say that you should not have any desires. Whereas in bhakti they say that all your desires are already fulfilled. You are always content. You are so fulfilled that you don't need anything else. Hope you can appreciate the difference here. So there is nothing left to achieve. It is not that you don't want to have anything. It is that there is nothing else that you can have. There is nothing else that you would need. Very beautiful state here. So that glimpse of complete satisfaction, like maybe if you are a mother, that satisfaction you felt when you held your newborn for the first time, or if you are a nature lover, when you sat in a seashore and saw that beautiful sunset or a sunrise, all of that are just a tiny reflection of that kind of trupto bhavati, that kind of contentment. So let us understand the 5 types of freedom which has been explained in this sutra. So Sutra 5 explains 5 kinds of freedom. Now let us see what those 5 types of freedom are. The first is freedom from desire. Na kinchid vanchati. So, na kinchid vanchati is freedom from desire. And Narad Muni says that a person who receives such divine love has no other desires. Once this state is achieved, you will feel like there is nothing else to achieve. See, the fact is, although our mind keeps jumping from one object to another object to another object, it can only be attached to one object at a time. At a given time, it can only be attached to one object. Yes, very quickly it switches to the next object, but it cannot be attached to more than one object simultaneously at the same time. So when we have these worldly material desires, there are so many things, so many distractions that our mind keeps jumping from one to another, to another, to another, to another, another. However, when we are now in divine love, there is only one thing. There is nothing else. And your mind is already attached to that one thing. And there is nothing else. That way it remains completely satisfied, completely free from desire. So it is not a kind of penance. It is not kind of, you're not trying to control the mind. You're not, trying to deny your mind something. You are giving your mind everything. So much that now there is nothing else the mind would want. That is how you achieve freedom from desire, by being absorbed in this divine love. Second is freedom from grief. Na shochati. You can say freedom from grief, or you can say liberation from grief. This sutra is saying that such a person grieves no more. See, grief or lamentation, they all come because... Can anybody tell me what causes us grief? If you can think about it, introspect logically, what do you think causes grief? Okay, let's see. Sandeep ji?
When expectations are not fulfilled, the one which we keep, then we grieve.
The expectation was not fulfilled when?
I mean, the expectation we have, the perceived expectation we have, and it is not fulfilled, that's why we grieve.
Correct. Okay, I'll come back to this. It's the right answer. I'm trying to make it complete now. Okay, let's see what Sumana ji has. Yes, Sumana ji.
Attachments, Guruji, which leads to expectations.
Attachment leads to expectations.
Attachments, which leads to expectations, and when they are not fulfilled, like we tend to think that otherwise is not.
Okay, but those attachments happened when? Okay, so I'll try to now direct the answer to what I'm trying to explain here is, whatever you guys said, it's all correct only. But if what is common between what you said and what Sandeep ji said, if you see, they all happened in the past. Maybe they happened a minute ago, maybe they happened a year ago, maybe they happened 10 years ago. When did you have the expectation? You had expectation, right? You are disappointed because you had some expectation that didn't get fulfilled. So it's all in the past. So the technical answer to when grief or lamentation can happen technically is only when we hold on to the past. If you have absolutely no memory of what happened even 1 minute ago, where is disappointment? Where is grief then? Where is lamentation? See? So that is spiritual wisdom here, that says that when we dwell in the past, this is what Bhagavad Gita calls as dhriti, tamasic dhriti. Dhriti means you have willpower, but now you are using your willpower in the negative way by holding on to something which is not good for you, but you are so strong. I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to hold it. And that causes all the grief and all the lamentation. So a practitioner on the path of bhakti, they learn to stay in the present moment. They engage their minds in chintan. That is what chintan is. Chinta means past. Chintan means something you are doing now. Okay, and chita is future. See, so chinta is past, chita is future, and chintan is now. चिंता से लेके चिता तक हम जा रहे हैं. बीच में है चिंतन. एंड भगवद गीता में कृष्णा सेज फोकस ऑन दैट चिंतन. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज अनन्य चिंतन. Very, very important. So that is where they say that be associated with satsang and be associated with the guru, because that guru, if he's the right kind of a guru, he's not or she's not going to focus on pleasing you or focus on gaining popularity. That guru is going to be strict, but that guru is going to make sure that you are always in chintan. Bringing you back is their job. So if I have to summarize it, if you are stuck in the past, you get depressed. And when you are focused on the future, you get anxious. Such a simple medicine to cure both depression and anxiety, Chintan. Now you see why it is so powerful? Why they say do Nama Japa and all of that? That Chintan is a remedy for both serious diseases. The third freedom is freedom from hatred. Na dveshti. Dvesha, dveshti. That is the term we are talking about here. And the same thing Krishna has said, you can take it down and go revise it. Chapter 12, 17 sloka, 12.17 in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says the same thing. Yo na hrishyati, na dveshti, na shochati, na kankshati. It sounds very similar. And that is what Krishna had said in the 12th chapter. He said that people who don't rejoice in the mundane pleasures, nor despair in worldly sorrows, people who neither lament for any loss, nor run behind any gain, people who are renouncing both good and evil deeds, such people are full of devotion and they are very dear to me. The same thing, Naradji is now diving deep on that in this Sutra 5. This is why Shri Krishna has said, avoid both attachment and aversion. Attachment, you are stuck in the past. Aversion, you are worried about the future. You see? Don't have either. See, there is another thing is, one of the side effects of this teaching is we have to avoid unnecessary distractions, which also includes confrontations. Because many times when we get into a confrontational mode, it is mostly our ego and pride. See, you are saying something or I am saying something and immediately you don't agree with it. Now you have to voice your opinion. Or if I say something that is not pleasing to you, something that you don't like, you have to oppose. But what part of you wants to do that? It is your ego, it's your pride, which wants to say, I am right or I disagree. Why does it matter? As long as it is not something which is of imminent danger to you, or unless it is not putting somebody you care for in danger, or unless it is coming in the way of your duty and your dharma, it is always wise to avoid confrontation. It's a lesson given to Bhakti Yogis specifically, because it takes away a lot of our energy and it doesn't let us stay on the path. So there is a beautiful story. This is Swami Mukundananda. He used to say this story in his lectures, so I took it from there. Simple small story. It's a story that there is a dog in a village, and that dog has spent all its life in the village, small little village. And one fine day, another dog visits from the city. It's a city dog, street smart dog. And they become friends and they are chatting, and the city dog tries to tell the village dog that the world is not the way you think, houses are not like this always, or people are not like this always, and it is having so much to say. And this village dog is very curious now. The village dog says, can you show me your city? The city dog says, yes, I will take you there, but you have to listen to me. You have to listen to what I'm saying if you have to reach the city with me. And so the village dog makes an agreement, because the village dog is used to be like the king of its own street. So it always used to have its way. And now, but because it wants to really see the city, it is listening to the city dog, and it says, okay, whatever you say, I will listen. No, incidentally, to reach the city from this village, they have to cross 6 more villages. So the first village, when they enter, that is the first time the village dog is entering some other territory, because all its life it has spent in its own village, its own territory. What is the first thing it experiences? Suddenly all the dogs are barking at it. Suddenly it is seeing many unhappy dogs, angry dogs. It does not have experience. And now what is its impulse? Its impulse is to bark back and now fight with the other dogs. But the city dog is very smart. The city dog says, you told me you will listen to me. I want you to ignore these dogs. It's very difficult for the village dog, because the village dog has been the king of its street. It is the one which will always bark. And how come now some other dog is barking at it? But then it made a promise. So it listens to the city dog. They go to the next village, the same thing happens. Third village, the same. By the time it is in the third village, the village dog is finding it so hard. But the city dog says, I told you, you have to listen to me. But fortunately, by the time the fourth village, now the village dog has got trained. It says, oh, I know. If I bark, the city dog is going to tell me not to do that. It's got trained. So the fifth village now actually becomes easier, and the sixth village is like a walk in the park, and they eventually reach the city. And then it is asking that city dog, what was the secret? Why did you tell me not to bark back or not to pick up a fight? He said, if you had done that, do you think we would have reached the city? He said, you would have been so busy, first of all, fighting with all those dogs. You would have lost all your energy. You would have been too tired. And secondly, you would have got injured maybe. And what would you have gained? What was your goal? Was your goal to win a fight with those dogs, or was your goal to reach this city and see the city? You wanted to reach the city. This was the best way to do that. That is how I reached your village, the city dog says. See, that is a lesson for all of us. We are all like those village dogs. And whenever we, get into unfamiliar circumstances, unfamiliar situations, unfamiliar people, the urge is to fight, the urge is to confront, the urge is to argue, debate. But the message, the teaching given to us is, what is your goal? Is your goal to win debates? Is your goal to win over? No, your goal is to reach that destination, then avoid these confrontations. That is how you will reach the city of divine love. Very simple, very profound, in my opinion. So I think as a practice, I would like you to write it down and maybe take it as a reflection point, is when somebody barks at you. I mean, it's a symbolic way of saying, it could be like somebody cut you off in traffic, or somebody honked at you while you are driving, or somebody just said something rude, or somebody spoke of a particular political belief that is totally against your beliefs. What is your reaction? The reflection point is, remember the city dog. Remember the city dog. This is not, this is smartness. This is where viveka comes into place. Use your discernment. Is this your job to fix that person? Is it your job to put that person down? Does it matter? Is it important? Is it your goal? Is your goal to win an argument, or is your goal to reach a divine destination? If you want to reach a destination, you have to choose the path of least resistance. So it's a reflection point. Keep reflecting on it. Make sure that you are practicing it in your day-to-day life. I will tell you my own personal example, and Kalpana is sitting next to me. She will keep me honest. Not too long ago, I used to be known as a very aggressive driver, and I used to have the biggest car, like it was a SUV. It has to be big, bold. I used to have the loudest horn possible. My headlight used to be the brightest xenon light. So if somebody does not lower their headlight, then I would switch on my extra powerful light and make sure that they. So I was that kind of a guy, and I would always, be very fast in my driving. I was very good, and Kalpana used to always complain that you are giving me a headache, and I used to say, "What do you mean? That guy honked. That guy is cutting me. That guy is doing, and you are getting angry at me." But somehow later in life, maybe 10 years ago or 9 years ago, I don't know exactly, this particular lesson automatically I started internalizing that. And I won't, as I said, she will keep me honest. Now she says that she feels very peaceful when she's with me when I'm driving. Now, in fact, she likes our drives. So I can tell you, now I have a smaller car, but I still reach my destinations more peacefully. As compared to having a bigger car and a bigger horn. At that time, nobody was peaceful, and we used to get into so much of, yeah. Chitraji, I think you wanted to add something here.
Yes, Guruji, Hare Krishna. I had a question. So, yes, we are not going to confront. So, just let's take the example of the same being in traffic and somebody tries to cut you off. We are not going to honk back. We are not going to say anything. But what should be that in that moment, what should be the emotion that we should carry? I mean, yes, we are going to stop. We are not going to confront. But if that irritation is coming, how can we
Chintan.
Substitute that.
Yeah. And your ego will say, but that person did it. But then calm it down. Say, is it my job to fix that person? My job is to win over my own ego and my own pride. That is my dharma, first dharma, right? Yeah. So that is how you have to reason with yourself. This is where intellect is useful. This is where that viveka comes in handy. And tell yourself, I want to follow the city dog. I think that is the best way to do that. Even better, I would say, if you want to follow the path of real bhakta, because what differentiates a bhakti yogi from all other yogis is eventually a bhakti yogi becomes compassionate in the true sense.
Exactly. Yes.
Not a show of compassion. They actually become compassionate. So what happens? This is a very powerful line that says that don't assign malice to what can be explained by ignorance. If somebody honks, instead of getting annoyed, say maybe he's in an emergency. Maybe he wants to use the bathroom. Who knows? That shift also helps. But for all of this, two things have to happen. One, you have to always be mindful, aware, and second, you have to be willing to get your pride in your pocket. See, I hope that will always work. Okay. Excellent. Now we come to the fourth freedom. We said 5 freedoms. We have spoken about 3. The fourth freedom is na ramate. Na ramate means freedom from worldly excitement. We can also say it is a gift of equanimity. See, a person who is full of divine love will not get too excited with positive outcomes because it's not even occupying their mind that much. Their mind is full of love now. So true equanimity means you are neither depressed by failure nor intoxicated by success. Both extremes you avoid. That's all. And whoever has completed Bhagavad Gita once, they will know how Sri Krishna repeatedly talks about samatvam. This is samatvam. Another way of talking about samatvam is na ramate. Now, again, it does not mean that you have to Nobody is saying that your life has to be dull. But the message is your source of joy, it will shift from asat to sat. Your source of joy will shift from the material to the divine. That is the true message here. And then we come to the fifth freedom. Fifth freedom is freedom from worldly ambition. Na utsahi bhavati. It is also termed as living without attachment to outcomes. Anybody remembers? We studied something like this in the Bhagavad Gita. Freedom from attachment to outcomes. Yes, Sulata ji.
Hello. Hare Krishna Guruji.
Yes.
Yeah. 2.47 shloka.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. You remember the shloka number, so I know you remember the shloka. Sandeep ji, you had any other shloka or the same one? Okay, the same one. Excellent. Karmanye vadikaraste. So now you see how many perspectives that one shloka gives us now. So when we say do your action, don't expect outcomes, Krishna is actually showing us the path to the fifth freedom. It is for us. It helping us get that freedom. And that is what is going to take us towards the ultimate goal of union with that divine. And then we kept talking about Chintan. So I want to spend a little bit of time on Ananya Chintan. This is the heart of Bhakti Yoga, is Ananya Chintan, and that is where the famous shloka from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, 9.22. Sandeep ji, it comes here. Ananya Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripasute Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyam. Very beautiful. Those who are always thinking of me, engaging me in exclusive devotion to me, to them whose minds are always absorbed in me, I provide what they lack and I preserve what they already possess. So that is the secret, constant and consistent focus. That is the secret to succeeding in Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga you cannot succeed using willpower. You cannot succeed using your physical power. Bhakti Yoga, the only way to succeed is in practicing Ananya Chintan and becoming good at it. There is no other way. That is why we say, learn from the gopis. See, because you are all students of Bhakti Yoga, I can talk about the deeper aspects of the relationship between Krishna and the gopis. So, the way to understand most of these leelas, they all are some lessons. So, we shouldn't be looking at them literally all the time. We have to look at the meaning symbolically. Just like now I said, there was a street dog, there was a village dog. Now, that lesson, do you think that lesson has become easier for you to put it here? Okay. Now, what if you now start, arguing, hey, that person says, a city dog was talking. Have you ever seen a talking dog? No, but it's beyond the point. You're missing the whole point, right? The point was to understand that this story was to convey a lesson and we are supposed to focus on the lesson. Just like that, when they say story of Krishna and the gopis, there was a lesson, but people miss the lesson and they start focusing on, was the Gauri white or was the Krishna black, and that is but it's okay. Whoever wants to do it, let them do. But we are all Bhakti Yogis, so we will focus on the lesson. So the real tatparya, the real symbolism behind Krishna and the gopis is, Krishna represents that supreme divine, that super soul, Bhagavan. And the gopis represent individual souls. And the goal of the individual soul is to find union with the super soul. And the path of a Bhakti Yogi is done through Ananya Chintan. And the gopis are leading by example. That is exactly what the gopis did. The gopis were always in Ananya Chintan and they were always in love because they were Trupto Bhavati. They had tasted that, contentment, happiness that they get when they are full of such divine love, and they are leading by example. They are leading by example and showing us how this Narada Bhakti Sutra actually you live it. How once you have that love, nothing else matters. See, that is the whole thing. So that's what we have to learn from the gopis. If you remember, there was this one story of a gopi looking very frustrated, and Narada Muni is approaching that gopi and asking, "What is the problem? What is wrong? You look very upset and frustrated." And the gopi says, "Yeah, this Krishna, all the time he's on my mind. When I'm working, he's in my mind. When I'm washing my clothes, he's on my mind. How do I get rid of him? He just doesn't go away." And Narad Muni says, "Wow, you have already reached that stage that Mahayogis want to reach, and you are frustrated with it." But that story also has a lesson. The lesson is that was the nature of those gopis. That 100% of their time they were in Ananya Chintan. Can we be in that Ananya Chintan? If we can be, then we become like that gopis. The gopis in front of him, Krishna would himself want to come and dance. That is the beautiful message here. So we talk about freedom, 5 types of freedom. We spoke about how past, future, hanging on to them, they create problems. So would you like to maybe experience or try a short meditation to kind of get this more internalized, this lesson? You're okay with that? Okay. I created a short meditation for all of you. Let us go with it. So first of all, make sure that you are all seated comfortably. And make sure that nobody has like rice in the cooker or milk in the pot or anything that you have to run. If such is a case, please make arrangements first. Huh? Yeah. Kalpana is saying Simranji is smiling because she probably has a lot in the kitchen. So, okay. Okay, you're all ready? Now I will start the meditation. Om Tat Sat. I welcome everybody to this meditation that we call the meditation on the freedom of the present moment. Let us take a few moments to find a sense of peace right where we are. Begin by settling into a comfortable position. You can sit in a chair or you can sit on the floor. Make sure you have some kind of a cushion so that you are comfortable. Make sure that your body is at ease. Let your hands rest softly in your lap. Feel your spine become steady and straight and yet relaxed. It can be relaxed, but it should not droop forward or bend forward. Try to keep your spine straight. When you are ready, please close your eyes gently. Draw in a slow, deep breath. Feel your chest and belly expand with life force. Hold it for a few seconds. Now release it slowly, and while you are breathing out, imagine the breath is carrying away any tension that has gathered in your shoulders, your jaw, your forehead. Feel it all relax. Let's repeat. Take another slow, deep breath. Feel your chest and belly expand. Hold it for a few seconds. Now, when you release it slowly and imagine all your tensions going out with that breath. Feel your shoulders, your jaw, your forehead, all feeling relaxed. Now with great gentleness, turn towards your past in your mind. Without forcing or searching, just ask your mind, what is that one regret that you feel? Let that regret surface. Don't try to search for it. Just watch any one regret surfacing on its own. Now notice it with compassion and kindness. No judgment. Just notice what regret comes to the surface. Now imagine this regret is taking the form of a small, smooth stone and resting in your palm. Feel its weight. Feel its texture. You have carried this stone for some time now, haven't you? Look at it with understanding. Acknowledge it. And now, with conscious intention and infinite kindness towards yourself, slowly turn your hand over. Slowly release that stone from your palm. Let it fall away. Let the stone roll from your palms and fall into the earth where it belongs. Feel the immediate lightness in your hand and your heart. Feel the freedom of letting go. Your hands are empty now. Your hands are now open, just like your heart, which is now open and receptive to new possibilities. Now gently shift your attention to the future. Allow any one single worry to surface, to come to the front of your mind. Welcome it without any judgment. Simply recognize it as a familiar visitor. Now imagine this worry to be like a puffy white cloud drifting across the vast blue sky. Now remind yourself, I am not the cloud. I am the infinite sky. That spacious and unchanging sky, that's my true nature. Now watch gently as a soft breeze begins to move this cloud farther away towards the horizon. Watch it float peacefully across the landscape, growing smaller and more transparent as it travels towards the horizon. and soon it dissolves completely, leaving just the clear open sky. Feel the lightness. Feel how you no longer feel that worry. With the past released and the future set free, now you arrive fully in this precious moment. Feel the simplicity of being right here, right now. Nothing to fix, nothing to change, nowhere else to be. Notice your breath automatically moving in an ancient rhythm, how you are inhaling without any effort, how you are exhaling without any struggle. Feel the solid earth supporting you completely, asking nothing in return. Now tune in to the profound silence that you feel within. This experience of resting in pure presence with your attention gathered and whole is what the ancient sages call undivided contemplation. It is the peace that waits patiently for us whenever we remember to return home to this moment. Rest here in this peaceful, spacious awareness. Let yourself be held by the present moment as tenderly as a mother holds her child. Stay in this peaceful sanctuary for as long as it feels right, knowing you can return here whenever you choose. Now begin by bringing gentle movement to your fingers and toes. Take a deep breath, and when you are ready, let your eyes open softly, as if you are seeing a fresh new world. As you move forward into your day, carry this feeling of peace within you. Let it remind you that beneath all the activity, all the noise of daily life, this peaceful stillness is always available, always waiting for you to return. Om Shanti, Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, welcome back. Hope you all felt a little peace and hope it made sense. This is pretty much what the sutras are talking about how the past gives us grief and how the future gives us worries and anxiety, and how the divine love can be felt only now, only in the present. So if you want to experience divine love, you need to practice how to be in the present. That's a very simple yet profound teaching. So my request is, now you know what the meditation is. If you have any questions about the meditation, I'm happy to answer, but I will also share this recording anyways. So you should try and practice this whenever you have spare time. Practice this meditation. The more you become good at it, that is when you can truly claim to start practicing Ananya Chintan. Otherwise, it is not Ananya Chintan. It is at the most Ananya Japa. You are at the most chanting all the time, but are you all the time in Chintan is a totally different game. And the only way you can be in true Ananya Chintan is when you don't have any stones to carry from the past and you don't have any clouds to push away from the future. Just be here now. So if this makes sense, I think I will let you stay in this little bit of peace that you have felt. I will let you carry it for some more time. And in the next session, we can cover slokas 6, 7, and 8. Sutras 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so Hare Krishna. If you had any questions or comments, feel free. The floor is now open for you.